All right, let's dive into it. The Commanders just blew out the Panthers 40-7.
Yeah.
But here,
Yeah.
Jayden Daniels gets injured.
Big old asterisk on that one.
How are you feeling about this one?
Oh, man. You know, it's so tough because you want to celebrate a win like that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
40-7. I mean, you don't see that very often.
That's a statement.
It is, but at the same time,
And it comes at a cost.
it does.
And we don't know the severity of it.
Right, and that's the thing.
So let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
For people who maybe didn't see the game.
Yeah.
Daniels, first drive,
Uh-huh.
looks sharp.
Looking good, that 46-yard run.
A run.
Had everybody on their seat.
And then
Yeah.
it's like something.
And we don't know when it happened.
We don't know when it happened.
Some people are saying it was like kind of a, an accumulation of hits.
Right, like a slow burn almost.
I don't
If
know.
he wasn't mic'd up,
Right.
would we even know?
I don't know.
Because he finished the drive,
He did. He finished the drive.
nailed the field goal,
Uh-huh.
and then went right to the medical tent.
That's when you know.
That's when you know it's oh.
Yeah, it's one thing if he's just going in for a quick check.
Right.
Right.
I tried to warm up, they said, for that next possession.
And that's the thing. When you're out there and you try to go and you can't go.
You know your body.
You know your body.
Especially at that level.
Right. Exactly.
So, ruled out by halftime, came back on the sidelines.
Yeah, and street clothes.
And street clothes seemed to be in good spirits, which is always a good sign.
Right.
But,
Still.
Coach Dan Quinn didn't seem super optimistic.
No.
Just kind of saying, more tests on Monday.
More tests. We'll see.
Which is
Which is coach speak for.
the worst.
We have no idea.
Not concerned.
Right. Exactly.
Rib injuries, I mean, those are tricky
Oh, they're so tricky.
because it impacts everything.
Breathing, throwing. I mean, even just like flinching.
Yeah.
Knowing that there's a vulnerability there.
It could be a week. It could be way longer.
Right. Exactly.
So that's the big question mark.
Hanging over this one.
Hanging over this incredible win.
Right.
Because they won, and they won decisively.
They did.
So let's talk about how they pulled it off.
Okay.
Because I think this is where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
Because you've got Marcus Mariota.
Stepping in.
Talk about trial by fire.
I mean, to talk about being thrown right into the fire.
Not ideal circumstances.
No, not at all.
But he delivered.
He did.
I mean, he steered the team to 5 scores on his first 6 drives.
Which is incredible.
Seamless transition, I think, is an understatement.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly.
205 passing yards.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
I mean, you talk about stepping up.
And it wasn't just him, and I think this is what's so key about this.
Okay.
It shows that the Commanders, they've built a system.
Right.
It's not a one-man show.
No, and that's huge.
They can win, even without, their star quarterback.
Well, and I think it speaks to, Coach Quinn.
Yes.
He's got a system.
Yes.
And they believe in it.
And having Brian Robinson Jr. back,
That helps.
71 rushing yards and a touchdown.
It makes a difference.
It's almost like this win tells us more about the Commanders
Okay, I like that.
than it would have if Daniels had stayed healthy.
Interesting.
Because it's easy to look good when everything's clicking.
Right.
But when you have this kind of adversity
Yeah.
and you still perform at this level,
It shows you've got something.
it shows you've got depth.
Depth. And it's not just about the quarterback position either.
Right.
The entire team, the defense,
Oh, man.
stepped up in a major way.
You hold a team to 0 for 3 quarters,
Yeah, that's saying something.
you're doing something right.
It's a clinic.
Dante Fowler Jr.
Like a man possessed.
I mean, what was going on there?
Unreal.
That interception return for a touchdown.
Oh, thing of beauty.
Did you know that's his 3rd career pick 6?
You're kidding?
3rd.
That's not easy to do.
The guy knows his way to the end zone.
That's what they say.
Clearly.
Apparently so.
But yeah, you could just tell the
That-
defense was like, all right,
Daniels is out.
we gotta bring it.
It's on us.
And Forbes, the rookie,
Oh, don't forget about Forbes.
getting in on the action too.
2 picks in the game.
I mean, that's a rookie who wants to make a statement.
That's a guy saying, I belong here.
This performance.
Yeah.
Does it change how we look at the Commanders going forward?
It has to, right? I mean, you think about it,
Because losing your starting quarterback,
it can derail a season.
this could have been a completely different story,
Easy.
but they didn't let it.
And that's the thing.
So what does that tell you?
It tells me that Coach Quinn, he's got them bought in.
Okay.
They're not a one-trick pony.
Right.
They're not relying on just one guy.
That next man up mentality.
That's it.
We hear it all the time, but
But they're living it.
they're living it.
And that's what's so impressive.
So where do we go from here?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Because on one hand, you've got Daniel,
Right, and we don't know how long he's going to be out.
if it's long-term,
Yeah, that changes the calculus.
especially in the NFC East.
This isn't the NFC East of old.
Every game's a dogfight.
Every single one.
You got to bring it.
You snooze, you lose.
But then, on the other hand,
Yeah, Mariota,
looking pretty good.
more than pretty good.
5-2.
Right there in the mix.
Do you ride this wave
That's the question.
and say, you know what? We're going to see how far this takes us.
And you know what? Maybe it's the right call.
You got to prioritize Daniel's health long term.
Absolutely. You don't want to rush him back.
But
But if Mariota's got the hot hand,
what if this is their lucky break?
their blessing in disguise. Right.
Who knows?
Nobody knows. That's the beauty of it.
But it's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have.
They haven't been in the postseason conversation this seriously
In years,
in years. And now,
they're in the driver's seat.
suddenly it's like, wait a minute.
Hold on.
We're relevant.
They're relevant.
And that's huge.
Changes everything.
It does. It changes everything.
Pressure's on.
How do they handle it?
That's what we're going to find out.
It's a tough spot, right? You want to be excited about the win, but that uncertainty at quarterback just looms large.
It's a balancing act, for sure. And the thing is, this isn't just about Daniels and Mariota.
Right. The entire NFC East is a factor here.
It's a dogfight, top to bottom.
And the Eagles are right there at the top, still the team to beat.
They've got the Giants this week, though.
Oh, man. Talk about a game with implications.
If the Eagles win, they keep rolling.
But if the Giants can pull off the upset,
Suddenly the Commanders are right back in it.
and that's where Daniel's health becomes even more crucial.
Absolutely. Healthy Daniels down the stretch, and they're a legitimate threat to win the division.
But if he's out for an extended period,
Then it becomes a scramble just to stay ahead of those same Giants.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about the Cowboys.
right, they're lurking. This thing could go down to the wire.
No doubt about it. And you have to factor in the mental side of things, too.
How so?
Imagine you're the Commanders. You just pulled off this huge win against the Panthers, even without your starting quarterback.
Confidence has to be sky high.
Exactly. Now they go up against a team like the Eagles, and they know they can compete.
Even with Mariota under center.
It's a different kind of pressure. They're not expected to win, so they can play loose.
But a loss, especially a bad one, could swing the momentum the other way.
It's all about how they respond to adversity. Can they maintain their focus? Can they prove they belong in the playoff conversation?
Big questions, and we'll get some answers soon enough. But I think one thing's clear after this deep dive.
What's that?
The Commanders just threw a wrench into the entire NFC East. It's anyone's game now.
And that's what makes this season so captivating. You've got high-stakes games every week, unexpected twists and turns.
And we're just getting started. So buckle up, folks, because the NFC East is about to get even wilder. Thanks for diving in with us. We'll be back next week to break down all the action.
You in?